What's up, y'all? HoneySiren. Welcome to the channel. And as you can see from the title, we're discussing the dark feminine archetypes. So if you've clicked on this video, it means that you are ready to embrace your dark side. Now, what does this mean? This doesn't mean that you're becoming a person with evil intentions. It just simply means that you are becoming someone who no longer needs permission or validation to walk in your power and show up in the world as the best version of yourself. This mindset is so important for women and girls to learn because we are conditioned since birth to suppress our innate desires and to be ashamed of our femininity. And of course, these conditionings come from toxic male teachings, but sometimes, unfortunately, it can also come from the women around us who never had the luxury of being in their femininity. And I do call it a luxury because it is. There are actually people who are jealous of your femininity, and they always aim to make you feel ashamed for showcasing your feminine qualities. And you can definitely tell who these people are because these are the people that are always shaming women for being in their sexuality. They are always in overextension mode. They're always stressed out and working. And they don't allow themselves to be poured into. They don't believe that they deserve a life of fulfillment without hard work. So when it comes to the women who actually believe this toxicity, you can definitely tell that they have accepted that they are less than the man, and also less than in general. Now, if they knew the truth about their femininity, they would know that they hold the supreme power. The female is the dominant gene, and it is a biological fact that every being, every fetus, is developed as a female first before any further transformation. All males are developed female first. So in our genes, the X chromosome actually represents the female gene, and everyone has an X chromosome. The Y chromosome, however, is only present in men, and it represents the male gene. So for women, it's XX, and for men, it's XY. Now, we need this X chromosome to survive and to stay healthy. So if a male's X chromosome begins to malfunction, he will actually begin to experience ill health. And this is because he cannot survive without his X chromosome, his female gene. We all need it to survive, and it is the sustainer of life and what true feminine power is. So as you can see, this is one of the many reasons why women and girls need to learn our power aside from what we've been taught. So let's get back to the dark feminine archetypes. Each of the 4 archetypes represent a part of the feminine that has been suppressed. And in order for you to gain your power back, you must embrace it, your dark side. Each of the archetypes are represented by the elements fire, earth, water, and air. So the Lilith Archetype represents our independence, and she is our fire element. The Siren represents our sexuality, and she is our water element. The Gold-Digger represents our values, both our material values and our inner values, and she represents the earth element. And lastly, the witch, she represents our intuition, and she is, of course, the air element. So if you're sitting there wondering, how can these archetypes be considered dark or threatening? There's a saying, anything forbidden is more desired. A woman who embraces her dark feminine qualities becomes magnetic, and she definitely begins to hold a certain influence over others that can be very threatening to fragile ego, and it opposes the societal programming of what a woman should be. Each of the dark feminine archetypes face harsh judgment in society. So I'll share a few examples of how society has turned these feminine qualities dark. The witch archetype is oftentimes labeled as demonic or evil in society because she's in tune with her intuition, her feminine wits, and her manifestation powers. The witch oftentimes knows things that can't be explained, and this can be very unnerving to some. But everyone actually has psychic abilities. Not everyone is in tune with theirs, but the witch is, and she's not afraid of using her feminine wits and her manifestation powers to manifest what she desires into her life. Next, we have the Siren Archetype. In society, the Siren Archetype is oftentimes labeled as a Jezebel because she is in tune with her sexuality. She's unapologetic in her sexual expression, and she owns her life force energy. Instead of allowing others to exploit her energy, she utilizes her feminine charm to attract her desires, whether that be through emotional satisfaction or through pleasure. She owns who she is. So next we have the Gold-Digger. And the Gold-Digger is oftentimes labeled in society as a leech. And this is because she understands that every relationship is an exchange. It can be an exchange of energy, an exchange of finances, an exchange of emotional connection. But whatever it is that the Gold-Digger desires, she sets those standards at the very beginning of her relationships or her friendships, and she expects to receive in abundance. She carries high self-esteem, and she's always one step ahead, planning for her future. And lastly, we have the Lilith Archetype. And the Lilith Archetype in society is simply labeled as the bitch. The Lilith has a very strong personality. She doesn't settle for anything she believes is beneath her, and she has learned to create very strong boundaries to protect herself from being taken advantage of. And this archetype is pretty strong today in society due to many people ending toxic cycles in their lives, cutting off toxic family members, and just being the black sheep of their family and their communities. So as you can see, these archetypes get a bad rep in society, and it's not that they're bad, it's just that they oppose the norm of what we're expected to be. And sometimes we need to go against that, because the norm is what suppresses us and hinders us. To embrace our dark side is to finally accept all the parts of us that are natural, that we've been taught to hate. We shouldn't hate ourselves, y'all. We should love every part of ourselves. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the dark feminine archetypes. The Siren Archetype is the goddess of the waters, and in tarot she is represented as the Queen of Cups and the Star card. In the playing cards, she is represented by the Queen of Hearts, and her qualities are fluidity, emotional connection, and sexuality. In seduction, the Siren Archetype is a woman with great magnetic charm. and a glamorous appearance that enchants everyone into their web. Her emotional sensations allow her to hold a string of influence over others, and once they become emotionally attached, they fall into a deep obsession. The Siren archetype has remained in mainstream media, and women with this archetype continue to fascinate their audience. Their supreme magnetism and mystique will never wear off. Some examples in media are Angelina Jolie, Alexa Demi, and Marilyn Monroe. If this is your archetype, you are in unity with your sexuality and can captivate people like a spell. Due to your healthy expression of sexuality, you are the most powerful archetype. You are fully aware of this, and you can use your feminine wiles to attract your desires easily. You can be very strategic and think logically, while also maintaining a sexy and alluring aura. This makes you dangerous in the eyes of men, and you attract them effortlessly with your magnetic sex appeal, mystery, and promise of pleasure. You easily garner envy, admiration, lust, and the desire of others, but you choose to remain unfazed by it all. You deeply honor your body and self-image, and of course, you expect others to do the same. The Lilith is the goddess of fire, and in tarot she is the Queen of Wands and the Devil card. In the playing cards, she is the Queen of Spades. Her qualities are action, decisiveness, and nonconformity. The Lilith archetype represents a liberated woman who isn't afraid to cut ties with toxicity, speak her mind, or make bold decisions. She is the dark goddess of defiance and strength, refusing to bow down or neglect her needs to please anyone else's. In romance, she is a delicious thrill. There are many who pursue her to conquer her, but she can't be tamed. And that forbidden quality is her most seductive one. Even if people with this archetype don't seek attention, they always seem to attract it. Their aura and personality are just too magnetic to ignore. Some examples in media are Rihanna, Megan Fox, and Doja Cat. If this is your archetype, you are empowered from within and refuse to follow any other commands but your own. Many may call it the left-hand path, which is a path of freedom and self-knowledge. Like Lilith, you prefer to be separated from dogma and patriarchy. You would rather raise hell than comply with unsatisfying rules that oppose your values. You refuse to dumb yourself down or shrink yourself for anyone, and your rebellious nature is inspiring, especially to other women. Like the queen bee, you are a natural leader, and you can easily gain a cult-like following because of how much people respect your strong will. You will always stand up against injustice and aim to win. The Gold-Digger is the goddess of the earth. In tarot, she is the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress card. In the playing cards, she is the Queen of Diamonds. Her qualities represent high standards, material abundance, and self-value. There is motive behind everything the Gold-Digger does. She aligns herself with high values, indulges in healthy self-care rituals, and only surrounds herself with those who are supportive. The Gold-Digger resembles a goddess on earth. Her appearance is beautiful, her standards are high, and she expects to be respected and adored. By having a self-deserving attitude and allowing others to pour into her, the Gold-Digger has mastered the art of receiving. She doesn't hesitate to set her price and expect the deposit. Some examples in media are Kim Kardashian, Lori Harvey, and Naomi Campbell. If this is your archetype, you realize your value and you refuse to settle for anything less. You have big aspirations in life and enjoy a lifestyle of opulence and luxury. You have no issue with being alone, but if you are associated with another person, that person would have to be a winner in life and very successful. You know what you want, and you don't waste your time entertaining anything less. Many view your standards as harsh, but you don't mind. You maintain your high standards, whether others agree with them or not. Your confidence is unshakable, and your presence is admirable to all. The witch is the goddess of air. In tarot, she's represented by the Queen of Swords and the High Priestess card. In the playing cards, she is the Queen of Clubs. Her qualities are higher knowledge, communication, healing, and psychic abilities. The Witch Archetype is the most widely misunderstood one. The fear-mongering that surrounds the Witch Archetype stems from patriarchy and the negative connotation that witches evoke evil spirits or demonic forces to gain power. This superstition is untrue. The power that witches pull from comes from their willpower deep within. The Witch Archetype is a woman that is highly intelligent, both emotionally and rationally. She can easily see beyond illusions and tap right into the core of any situation. When it comes to success, she doesn't like to reveal any of her techniques, and when asked, she'll just smile and say, "It was in God's will." In actuality, she had it all planned out from the beginning. Some examples in media are Beyonce, Morticia Adams, and Lana Del Rey. If this is your archetype, you embody divinity and use your magical abilities to manifest wonders. Spirituality and solitude are a priority for you. You are very connected to your inner core and have heightened psychic abilities, such as foretelling, divination, clairvoyance, clairsentience, or clairaudience. You can easily read others like a book, and your energy can influence any room without you having to do or say much. Your self-protective shield is high, and if someone wants to get close to you, they'd have to put in the effort and be very patient. You enjoy using herbs, medicine, mantras, crystals, tarot cards, affirmation, music, and other tools of divination to stay grounded and peaceful. Learning to embrace your dark feminine archetype can feel very powerful and liberating, because all that energy that has been suppressed for so long is finally awakening. And you're no longer walking in shame. You're walking in power. This transformation is empowering, is intense and transformative. It will allow you to disarm any shame, to conquer your fears, and become the person that past you would have anxiety about. And when you embrace these qualities, you become magnetic, and you earn the ability to attract all types of abundance, effortlessly. So if you've enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments what your archetype is. If it resonates or not, I would love to know. And like, subscribe, and until next time.